Hello, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to the 70th episode of the Below the Yellow Line podcast. I'm your host, Joe Lanny Pavlon. Alongside me tonight are my co-hosts and colleagues, Justin Hebert and Daniel Ford. And tonight we have a special guest in NRF, Mass Rush Fueled. Said that right? He's got 15,000 subscribers, 5 years on YouTube, and covers NASCAR. And we're going to get into a lot about NRF and how he got started and everything about just going to be a good episode. 70 episodes. I didn't realize we'd get so far. But
It's been a long way.
Oh, he's gone.
He fell through, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's internet because if some internet's better
It's
than
21st
others.
century technology.
That's true.
Things happen.
Yep.
And, depending on how long this pandemic's going to last, is really has the say-so on whether we're able to get the hell out of there. And just live or be stuck behind a face mask. First and foremost, Brad Keselowski wins again at Loudon. It's been a long time.
It's been since his last win came all the way at Bristol in May. And people are saying he's cheating, including Patrick O'Fool. That guy says he's cheating. Brad Keselowski did not cheat. He got the win, and he didn't fail inspection, so he didn't cheat. Which that was a good win for Brad Keselowski and everybody at Team Penske.
It really was a good win for Keselowski. Yeah. And honestly, I think the way how Denny Hamlin and Keselowski were going at it shows the rivalry between the two drivers.
Yeah.
And that's like scaling back to the Xfinity series.
Yeah.
These two drivers, they set the tone for the race because other than the 11 and obviously Brad Keselowski, who won the race, no driver led more than 10 laps yesterday.
Yep.
Aside from the two stage winners, which were, of course, Brad Keselowski and Denny Hamlin. Keselowski led 184 of the 301 laps and honestly made a statement. We're going to get into the contract with Keselowski and all that because everyone wants to talk about, now what happens with Penske? What happens with Hendrick in the 48 car for 2021? Everybody wants to throw that question in the air.
Yeah, but now with Keselowski's contract, the 2 car is his ride now. So people are still saying Austin Cindric. I'm like, no, Keselowski signed a contract. People saying it's fake. Even Team Penske confirmed that people are saying it's fake. Which I don't know why people say it's fake, but so yeah, Cindric is not going to the 2 car. That's confirmed already.
Oh.
Because Brad's back in the number 2 for 2021, which Brad Keselowski is showing. Like, recently Logano's been up and down. Blaney's been up and down. Keselowski's been more in front. Like, more up front compared to Blaney and Logano recently. I knew Brad was going to get a win sooner or later to get his 3rd of the season. I knew he was going to win at another race.
Hey, guys, if you're here waiting for NRF to join,
we don't know what's going on.
His connection is gone off.
Yeah, yeah,
but I mean, if we have to bring it back another time or maybe later in the podcast, and that's the case, let's continue on. So, you were saying about Keselowski now that he's secure for another year or more years, depending on.
Yeah.
Well, I think Jenna Fryer, who was a NASCAR insider, said it was 1 year.
We'll see. Like, Brad Keselowski is showing what he could do. People are saying his 2012 champion was a fluke. Right now, he's proving like he's still in his prime. Like, he's winning races, and he's not running in the back. Like, he's showing his talent right now in that number 2 car.
Now, speaking of Keselowski, can he with this elimination style format. Because remember, when Brad won the championship in 2012, the
There's
game was
no
completely different. We had just the
12
top
drivers.
12 in points, and that was
And-
that.
Yeah, but also right now, like everything that's going on with Brad Keselowski, like it just depends how his team acts. Like during the playoffs, like remember 2016? What happened to Brad Keselowski in 2016 in the round of 12? Final race of the round of 12 blows up at Talladega. 2014, he had to win in the round of 8, got eliminated before the round of 4. Like you have to have consistency.
And on top of that, he was also one of the drivers. Like before going into the round of 8, he was at the bottom 4,
Yeah.
and he actually won to advance to the round of 8 in 2014.
Yep. Yeah.
But as you were saying, Justin, with 2014, he didn't make it to the round of 4.
Nope. Yeah. In 2016, he blew up at Talladega.
Yes,
And
alongside with
Martin
Martin
Truex Jr.
Jr.
Yeah,
Then Harvick and Kurt Busch being eliminated that same.
Yep. I remember when Keselowski blew up at the end. He was following his teammate and then blew the engine. He had trash on the grill, tried to get it off, and it blew the motor. Which that's not the funnest thing ever, blowing your engine.
Let's move on and just go down the results until NRF gets back, if you can.
Oh, come on. Bobby Gilbert saying boo. It's not, we don't control his internet.
Yeah.
No one controls anyone's internet. This is 2020. We live this stupid thing called a pandemic, and whether people are getting sick or not, we just have to live by the rules and be online. And people just have internet connection getting horrible by the minute. For now, let's go ahead and take a look at the results.
Yep.
So Brad Keselowski, obviously, we just talked about him. He won stage 2, 184 laps from the 4th spot. That's his 33rd career win. Now, 32 of his wins came with Penske. Obviously, that first one was the upset for James Finch back at Talladega 11 years ago. Denny Hamlin came home second. Now, Hamlin has 3 wins at Loudon, had just as good of a car, if not better than Keselowski's car. Led 92 laps, won stage 1, started second, so he was in the fight. Then we go down the list. Martin Truex Jr. finishing 3rd. Joey Logano 4th, and my pick was Kevin Harvick. He did lead 6 laps, but only a 5th was.
My pick was Truex, who got 3rd. I thought he could have got it for the first time. It was kind of weird seeing that paint scheme. The Sports Clips car on Martin Truex Jr.'s car. Kind of odd seeing that because you usually don't see it, but it was interesting.
Yeah.
This is going to go down the list here. Matt DiBenedetto, a very important points day for Matty D as the playoffs are coming closer.
Closer and closer.
Yep.
In 7th, Eric Almirola, who threw pole, and then his teammate Cole Custer was behind him in 8th.
Yep.
Chase Elliott, car number 9, led 9 laps, started 3rd. Tyler Reddick won that battle for the top 10. It was close, but Reddick came out over the 2 Hendrick cars. Now, Jimmy Johnson did finish 12th. Austin Dillon, who was in the playoffs with that win at Texas, led about 3 laps from the 12th spot. Yeah, guys, we will get NRF in here. He's dealing with connection problems. We apologize for that.
Just please be patient.
Yeah, be patient.
Ryan Blaney finished in 20th after leading 5 minutes. Now, once again, Blaney had a good car, just cautions didn't fall in this direction.
Yeah.
And then these 2 drivers with retirements, obviously Matt Kenseth 37th after multiple incidents, started 21st, retired out of the race, and of course Kyle Busch 38th with that blown tire early in the race, just 16 laps in the event. Now let's get into Kyle Busch here because this is a good time to talk about it as we get into the playoffs.
Yeah, the defending champion is really seems to be struggling at the end during this season right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been doing good so far, but it is now at this time he needs that first win to get
Hmm.
into the playoffs and defend
Yeah,
his title.
yeah, because with with Kyle Busch,
Yeah,
I know ahead of he's ahead of some people in points. Like, but the thing about him,
94
he's
points over the cut line.
which
yeah,
which in the playoff standings he's 13th. The guy in like there's 10 drivers with wins. 11th, Almirola. Kurt Busch is 12th. Kyle Busch is 13th. Only 90 some points, but 90 points, you could lose that in a couple races, literally. If you have bad races, like 3, 4 races, like if you have 2 bad races in a row at Michigan, then you'll have to work hard at Daytona, both Dover races and the oval at Daytona. Like you gotta manage the race because like it's just even before the pandemic, Kyle Busch was still not winning, dominating. He was just running mid pack and then got good finishes.
With that said, um, so obviously the playoff standings now we have the top 10 drivers locked in through wins. Now Denny Hamlin with 5 over Kevin Harvick with 4 wins. Brad Keselowski now with 3 wins is seated third. Joey Logano 2 wins, and then these drivers here from 5th to 10th have 1 win respectively. Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, Ryan Blaney, Martin Truex Jr., Austin Dillon, and Cole Custer. And of course, like you mentioned, outside the secure spot for wins, which sooner or later, a few races from now, if you're not locked in through a win, you can be locked in through points. We'll get in that maybe in 2 or 3 weeks' time when that actually applies to this discussion. But for now, Eric Almirola is not secure. No one is if they have a money. Plus 145 for the 10 team. Then the Busch brothers plus 112 for Kurt, plus 94 for Kyle. Clint Boyer plus 43. Now it gets dense right here.
Yeah, where Clint Boyer? Yeah, Clint Boyer.
He can't afford a DNF like Kyle Busch had.
Yeah.
Now just throw him right back to square one. Matt DiBenedetto, same thing. I mean, he really needed that 6th place finish.
Yep.
Plus 40 above the cut line, and then it's really close to her.
Oh,
Byron, plus 15. And then outside William Byron, Tyler Reddick minus 15. Jimmy Johnson minus 25. Eric Jones minus 31.
Yep.
Now, Reddick and Johnson might be in range, and even Eric Jones, if Jones doesn't win, he would need some really good consistent runs.
Yeah, he does.
Bubba Wallace on back.
Oh,
Minus 100 or more points back. Really going to need that win.
Yeah,
There are
because
6 races remaining, Justin.
yeah, Michigan, you gotta know how to draft because Michigan, with this package, you need to stay in the draft. If you can't, well, you're basically gonna fall behind. You have to draft. If you get a run, take that opportunity and make the move at Michigan. Then you go to the Daytona Road Course. That is unknown because nobody has raced there. Basically, be careful on the first couple laps. Don't get damaged and ruin your race like Alex Bowman almost did.
and don't get too excited. Just try and keep calm.
Yeah, keep calm. Don't make dumb moves, aggressive moves, and causes your car to spin. Then you go to Dover. It's 2 races at Dover. You gotta make sure you manage the race because Dover is a tough racetrack. It's instead of being a 400 lap distance, it'll only be 311 laps because there's 2 races. The thing about Dover, it's a self-cleaning track. If you wreck, you're gonna slide down the bottom of the track. Don't make those dumb mistakes. And some people try to make moves like diving moves, but you don't want to try that.
Why are we talking about Dover?
That's
We're
after.
not at Dover yet. We're at we got 2 Michigan races, Justin.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you don't perform at Michigan, because if you're not in the draft, if you're
I see who's watching this video. There's 7 of you. Will Kyle Busch win in 2020?
I don't know. I don't know.
I really hope he does.
If he does, it's gonna be good. But
And if it happens, will it happen before the playoffs? Because
oh,
we have 6 races remaining.
he has to basically manage
has
his
to.
race.
He has to make it happen now because
Yeah.
we're 6 races away from the playoffs starting now.
Yeah, and there's already 10 different drivers with wins. Nobody expected Austin Dillon or Cole Custer to get a win. Nobody expected that.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah, and also Kyle Busch.
Nobody expects anything to happen.
Kyle Busch just has to run consistent. Also, if he starts DNFing left and right, that's a problem.
Then he will really have to be in panic mode right now because if he starts DNFing left and center, then consider yourself out of the playoffs, bud.
Yeah, because if he keeps finishing last place, well, that's not going to help you in points.
Just straight up not being consistent.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, Eric Almirola right now is so consistent. That's how he's gaining points right now.
Yeah.
I'm just looking through the 20 races we've ran. Kyle Busch has 1, 2. Kyle Busch already has 3 DNFs. And in the last 6 races, Kyle Busch has 2 DNFs in 6 races right now. His first DNF before Pocono, his first DNF was Daytona.
Yeah, I see a comment here saying he's KFB, but he is a 1 of 12 exit for me. You know what? The fact that you say that it's a round of 12 exit doesn't seem real, but I'll have to go with a round of 8 exit because
I say round of 8.
He's just too strong to even be.
Look at the tracks coming up ahead.
Exactly.
Kyle Busch has 1 win in Michigan 9 years ago, and that was one of the. It was kind of a fluke win because he wasn't really the car to beat that day in the 2011 season. But other than that, it's not really his racetrack. Usually, he's better at Fontana, the sister track to Michigan.
But
also, we're not at California Speedway right now or Auto Club.
But then if you have bad Michigan races, you go in the Daytona road course with no experience there in a NASCAR Cup car.
He ran the 24 hours.
Yeah, but those cars are different.
Yeah, those cars actually meant to run the road course, unlike NASCAR.
Yeah, and also you don't want to be aggressive way too early and cause a wreck. That would be not the good thing to do. So yeah, basically just be consistent. Don't make the mistakes like those stupid mistakes that people make. Just manage your race.
All right. I know you guys are waiting for NRF. We are too. His internet is just having an off day, just like the year 2020 is.
Okay, I just saw Will.
Yes,
just
Will.
Put Kyle Busch. He said Kyle Busch will win, but in the playoff. It's possible.
Does that mean he's just gonna get that win and place him up the next round? Because I feel like with the way things are going, Kyle Busch will make the playoffs. Yeah. So win, advance around, and then also be in the fight.
I hope he does.
Yeah,
or if not, he just has to straight up be consistent. Because if you win, then you have nothing to worry about. You're automatically locked in.
Yeah,
just like that.
But that's essentially what the playoffs will be. We'll talk some more NASCAR a little bit later on when NRF gets in here and when his connection's actually established. But for now, let's move on to some F1, shall we?
Oh, that race.
You want to talk about a crazy finish?
Yeah. Hold on. So the next race will be Michigan. It'll be rounds 21 and 22.
Yep, Saturday and Sunday. 500 kilometers, 312. Yep, and it's 156 laps. So don't be confused not 500 miles, 500 kilometers, the same
There we go.
distance.
100,000 miles on a weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
All right. With that said, F1 was bizarre. I mean,
You want to talk about a crazy finish?
Oh, geez.
Okay, I am still in shock and awe from yesterday with Lewis Hamilton blowing his left front tire and managing to score
A win.
a win at at Silverstone. It's like how
like-
how can you put it? This is one
You
of the
don't think
craziest
so?
finishes I've ever seen. And on top of that, his teammate Valtteri Bottas, he blows a tire and he pits and he gives up his podium spot,
And he
which
finishes-
gets
Yep.
Verstappen and Charles Leclerc to
The
finish
post-
second and third.
Oh my gosh. It's like
All right. So you can only do that in a video game. The closest, the two other instances of a driver without four working tires or wheels winning a race has failed. And Kyle Busch 2016, he almost won a lap around three working tires and ended up winning the race or losing the race. He finished second. It was
Austin
a really
Dillon.
big clouds
But
event.
remember, Suarez passed him, ran out of fuel, and then Austin Dillon came out of nowhere because
Kyle Busch
he
tried
was-
to make it work, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, but like Lewis Hamilton on three tires, I'm like, what?
There
He's
is
still
no way
But
that
do you
has
wanna-
happened.
Hey Joseph.
Absolutely no way possible.
But do you want to know what's kind of funny about it? The Porsche Super Cup race, who was like the pole time for the Porsche Super Cup race was 2 minute 26. Guess what was Lewis Hamilton's lap with three tires? 1 minute 52 seconds on those three tires. He passed the line in under 2 minutes with three tires, and it's like, wow.
It is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I have no words. And you know what? Tire failures were happening late in the race.
Oh yeah.
Could not handle the Silverstone asphalt
Yeah.
for some reason. It just felt like the track was deteriorating for the tires, and when Bottas blew a tire, I'm like,
Oh boy.
because usually in F1, when something bad happens to one car of a certain team, the other car
It
is
is
usually
bound to
next
happen to another car.
on the hit list.
And then I'm like, on the final lap, I see Lewis. I'm like, oh no, make it around, and he
But
did.
listen real quick, Justin. Max
Yeah.
Verstappen pitted the moment he got around Valtteri Bottas's limping car. Now, Bottas
Yeah.
didn't score points at all, which is good for Hamilton on the championship.
Yeah.
We'll get into it later. But what happened was Verstappen pitted for fresh tires to get the fastest lap, which he got successfully.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about the finishing order later, but had he stay out, just without any instance of who cares about the fastest lap? Albon has that. Verstappen wins the race.
Yeah, but the thing about it, he saw Bottas having the issue. He did not want the issue, probably. That's probably why he pitted in case and he said his tires were bad. He said he didn't want to pop a tire in DNF. That's why he pitted. But Lewis had the biggest lead possible to get the win by 13 seconds or 5 seconds. Like
it went from 13 to 5 seconds.
Yeah, he was 30 seconds when he started the final lap and still held on to get a 5-second lead.
Yeah.
Oh, 30 seconds. I thought it was 13-1-3.
No, it was 13 before the final two corners. It was
yeah.
30
I remember. Like, is he going to make it? Now, listen, if that was any other tire, especially rear tire, it would have been over. He would.
Yeah, but it was the left front at least, not the rears. The rears would have been
to push. The mechanics worked in his favor. All right, so the results look like this. Lewis Hamilton led all the laps. Race. His 7th British Grand Prix victory. More than any other driver.
87 career.
87th career win, 154th career podium. So we're getting close to that 91 win mark. It's held by the one and only Michael Schumacher. And he doesn't have just 91 wins to reach within the season. He has 7 championships, the tying for the most of all time in Formula 1 World Championship history. You catch Michael Schumacher in 2 different records in 2020. The progress is there. He has more than enough time to do it.
Yeah, like
as long as you have a working car, that is.
Yeah, but like you just have to make sure you don't have an issue or a crash.
Right. Well, let's move on and get into the. Oh, I forgot to move down the results. I was about to go right into points here. But yeah, so obviously we talked about Hamilton getting the win. Now Max Verstappen finished in second. Verstappen started third, had the fastest lap, so an extra point on his end. Now, like I said, the fastest lap came at a cost. The fresher tires came at a cost. But nonetheless, it was a decent run for the Dutchman, his 34th career podium. And as for the driver on the bronze step, third place, Charles Leclerc, the Mongas driver, with his 12th career podium, 4th from the starting grid. Now, listen, Charles Leclerc, this is kind of like Fernando Alonso back in 2010 here.
Yeah.
You're driving an A-Link Ferrari. I mean, it's really an A-Link car. It's not fast like you expect Ferrari to be.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, you can see where the driver talent comes into play here.
Yeah.
All right, let's move down to the points finishing results. 4th place, Daniel Ricciardo. Very good run for the Renault driver, especially for that kind of equipment. The factory Renault team has not been fast this year. 5th place, Lando Norris. Very decent run for the McLaren driver. Esteban Ocon, double points for Renault. Pierre Gasly, 7th. Alex Albon, 8th. Now, I bet you Albon wished Verstappen stayed out just as much as the Red Bull team as a whole did after that race ended, because he would have had the fastest lap point and Max would have had the win.
But he decided to pit because his tires.
9th place, Lance Stroll in the Racing Point, started 6th. And final point spot, Sebastian Vettel gets just a sole point in 10th.
Ahead of Bottas.
Right. Bottas took a huge blow from 7th, like, or 2nd to 11th. Like, that's what Grand Prix racing can do.
Yeah.
Or it's not even making a mistake, it's having something go wrong.
Yeah, like that, the left front. Remember, he was on 2 to go. When his left front cut down, like the puncture was with 2 laps to go, he would have not made it to the checkered. So he had to pit because he couldn't make it to the checkered flag without an issue.
Yeah.
So that's why he made the pit stop. But it was not just Bottas with an issue. Sainz also had an issue late in the race also. He was up in the points until he had his issue in his McLaren. He fell out of the points also.
Yeah.
Right. He ran into trouble. Antonio Giovinazzi in the Alfa Romeo finished 14th, started 15th. Nicholas Latifi, 15th, started in 18th spot. Romain Grosjean had a very decent car, but had bad sportsmanship penalty given after some questionable passes were being made. He had a car. Grosjean had the car to get Haas their first points of the year.
But McLaren, Sainz complained about it.
I mean, they're not their first points of the year. They're
first points for Grosjean because they have 1 point. But Magnussen didn't survive that race. He ended up finishing 19th.
Right. So yeah, Kvyat crashed on lap 11, retirement for the Russian.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Magnussen lap 1 crashed, and then last place unfortunately was Nico Hulkenberg, who was in the Racing Point for Sergio Perez. I don't know. Maybe Carlos Sainz will just ditch Ferrari for Racing Point if my mind's going away.
Like, yeah, and Hulkenberg, people, do you want to know how people are stupid? Guess what somebody said? You know, driver of the day is usually to a driver that's done good. Lewis got it because, the tire and all that. Guess what people said? People like Nico Hulkenberg should have got the driver of the day. I'm like, he wouldn't even
If
What?
he
make
He
it to
raced,
wasn't
the
he
even
probably
start.
making
would
it to the race.
You have to be in the race to get it. He was in the garage the whole race. Like he couldn't even get it because he was parked in the garage because the engine wouldn't turn on, which when your engine does not want to start, there's a problem. And it didn't want to start, so that's one reason he couldn't start the Grand Prix.
All right, I'm going to leave a question for you guys in the live chat. Obviously, everybody wants the answer to be yes. For some reason, cannot stand Nico Hulkenberg, then maybe you need to look in your mirror. Nico Hulkenberg may not have a podium in F1, but he does have a 24 Hours of Le Mans overall victory
Yeah,
for
like
factory Porsche LMP1 team, which was a thing back in 2015. But Hulkenberg, does he deserve a ride? I think absolutely. It's unfortunate.
yeah.
It's so unfortunate that the one chance he had in 2020. I mean, obviously we want the best for Checo, but nonetheless, to have an unexpected call on the phone saying, "Okay, come on, get to Silverstone. We need you now." Do all that practicing, qualifying, getting the seat adjusted for you, only to miss the start, not even race.
Yeah, but the thing is, we don't know who's in the car next week at the 70th anniversary Grand Prix. We don't know yet about Perez. We still don't know any.
He has to pass the test to get back.
Yeah. If he doesn't pass, that's you can't race because people are like, "Oh, it's not that bad." I'm like, he's near mechanics.
Here we're talking about.
You're near mechanics and all that. Do you know what people say? Oh, it's not bad as the flu. I'm like,
let's please change the subject because
people just
not everybody has to see eye to eye to what everybody wants you to think about COVID-19, but nonetheless, it's something nobody should have to deal with in life. All right. World Drivers' Championship looks like this.
30
Lewis Hamilton, 88 points.
Bottas got none.
30 points over Bottas.
Jeez. Now it's over.
20. I don't know why. It's actually 30.
Yeah, because 88 to 58. And also, that means Hamilton has one race and part of a second race because if Bottas gets a win and Hamilton gets second, just saying, Bottas is still going to be second in points because the maximum points you could get is 26 points. Is the maximum points. If you get the win and the fast lap is 26. You can't get over that. So basically Hamilton will still be leading the points after the next week because Lewis Hamilton, people say mechanical failures and Mercedes has to stop putting money in their cars but Red Bull, the thing is, they're putting money on sponsorship instead of their cars.
Just like The Rock buying the XFL, $15 million. Now, I mean, listen, Vince McMahon is probably just like, screw it. Take it. Take it. One of my boys are going to have the XFL.
Yeah.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
That's The Rock, man.
It better work. It better work. 3 times a charm.
Yeah, 3rd time's a charm. Let's see if this works. If you're some nope.
All right. The World Drivers' Championship. Max Verstappen is 3rd in points. Lando Norris hanging on 3 points ahead of Charles Leclerc at 4th. Leclerc 5th, 3 points back. Alex Albon is 6th. With 26 points so far. Obviously, Sergio Perez missing last race sits at 22 points in 7th. Lance Stroll, 20 points claimed in 8th. Just like Daniel Ricciardo and Carlos Sainz has 15 points in the 10th spot. The World Constructors' Championship is all Mercedes. Questioning them and their speed. Mercedes, obviously, they're they're in a different universe. 146 points over Red Bull
Yeah.
Racing, 78 points. McLaren Renault, 51 points. Still third in the World Constructors Championship, which is very, very, very decent,
Yep.
compared to the other constructors in recent years. But McLaren is coming back to full song. The 2010s has not been their decade,
No.
but the 2020s, I think, will.
Yeah.
Ferrari in fourth with 43 points. Racing Point, BWT, Mercedes in fifth, 42 points. Just 1 point behind Ferrari.
They're gonna get fourth at one point. I see them.
Hulkenberg, if he raced, the constructors'
Not just-
points would look completely different.
But also Lance Stroll. If Stroll could have got better than 9 feet, like if Stroll was higher than 9 feet, could have passed Ferrari. If he would have got higher than 9. It's
Right.
basically just have the car with speed, not be slow on the straights and all that.
Exactly. Renault is sixth, 10 points behind Racing Point, so they have 42 points. And like I said, we apologize. NRF has connection problems,
Yeah.
and
Don't-
he is unable to join at the moment. We'll get him on later, but hold your horses, guys.
Yeah,
We're gonna get him in here
yeah.
before it's all set and done here. Oh yeah, happy birthday, James Hetfield. Cool. AlphaTauri Honda, 13 points so far. And then it gets pretty tricky. Alfa Romeo Racing, 2 points. The only 2 points were from Antonio Giovinazzi back at the Austrian Grand Prix on July 5th. Haas has 1 point from Kevin Magnussen.
And
Williams, big
Still-
fat 0.
well, at least they didn't finish last.
Yeah.
They have speed. Russell could have qualified higher, but a grid penalty didn't help. Started 20th because he failed to. He basically ignored the double yellow flags.
And I'll have that question up in the live chat. For some reason, my camera's not working.
Oh, okay.
I'll try to get it on later, but it's fine. It's a computer-mounted camera.
Mine, this
Man.
camera.
Next week is the 70th anniversary Grand Prix. So what's
Yep.
up?
Oh,
I'm
your
gonna
camera.
leave it off for now and just turn it back on a little bit later. The 70th anniversary Grand Prix will be next week for round number 5 of what is currently a 13-race championship.
Yep.
Now we talked F1, right? Let's talk some F2.
Yeah.
F2 had their week at Silverstone. It wasn't week 3. It was week 4. I don't know why I said week 3.
Yeah.
Week 4, Silverstone 1. They'll be back at Silverstone 2 next week. So Nikita Mazepin won, the Russian driver, taking the win for a high-tech Grand Prix, the British team, over Guanyu Zhou, who had the fastest lap, Yuki Tsunoda, Christian Longard, Callum Ilott, Louis Delatraz, Philippe Drugovich, who got the pole position. Drugovich got pole position, and NRF is here once again. Let's hope it stays. Stays like my camera does. And how's it going, NRF?
Oh.
Hey, your camera's back. Oh.
I mean, hey, it's
Connection.
2020.
Yeah.
Nobody gets what they want in 2020.
It's like Danny Hamlin's internet during the first. Remember Joseph on that restart. Remember Denny Hamlin's internet blinked, and you said he was in a cottage in Virginia. You said that he was in a cottage because his internet was blinking.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't want the baddest internet, but it's technology. Technology is made by humans. Humans made technology.
I'm going to leave my camera off to enhance the connection.
Yeah.
Because sometimes having the camera on can hinder that. And I'll do my due diligence because everyone here deserves to have a little NRF in this episode. It's a special episode. It's 70 episodes. We've come a long way. This is one of our better guests, and just the internet has other ideas today.
Yeah, they're like, nope, your internet's gonna be bad today. Like, yeah, it's technology, and it's like when that time we had when we used Google Hangouts as our podcast.
Oh, no. Get me started on Hangouts.
Well, remember the YouTube streaming issues, and we had to put the podcast to Thursday that week.
Yeah, you had to make like 5-6 different Google accounts just to get in.
Yeah,
horrendous.
Like I had to use 5 or 6 accounts. Like Armani's like, okay, one of Joseph, one of me, and others, and he's like, Justin, you have 6 accounts because mine wouldn't work, so I had to switch accounts every week, which was a pain. That's why StreamYard is more easier, except the one time it wouldn't end.
Yeah, I forgot what episode that was, but we literally could not leave until the stream ended.
Yeah, we were just sitting there.
Minutes to get
that was very unfortunate.
We were talking about F2. Let's just continue on here. So Callum Ilott finished 5th in the feature race. So 10 drivers. If you've never watched an F2 race before, the top 10 get points in the feature race. Feature race is a little bit longer than the sprint race, but the top 8 get inverted on the starting grid for the sprint race, which is the day after the feature race. The top 8 finishers in that event get points. So the final points paying spots on that one, Dan Ticktum, Mick Schumacher, and Matsushita finished in 10th. Now, the sprint race looked like this. Dan Ticktum won over Christian Lundgaard, who had the fastest lap. It was close. But Ticktum came out on top. Louis Delatraz in 3rd. Jehan Daruvala 4th. Nikita Mazepin 5th. Filip Drukovic in 6th. Matsushita finished 7th. And Jack Eichen, the final point spot, in 8th. Standings look like this. Robert Schwartzman continues to lead. He has 81 points over Callum Ilott with 73. Christian Lundgaard with 69 points in 3rd. Nikita Mazepin with 58 points, 11 points back in 4th. And Dan Ticktum, 12 points behind Christian Lundgaard in 5th. So, not a good weekend for Robert Schwartzman. No.
The points leader, like he had no points at all in both races, which really is unfortunate. But hopefully he rebounds this time at Silverstone for the second time. Hopefully he rebounds in that Prema racing team.
The team standings look like this. You and I with 124 points. 2 points over Prema Racing, 122. 122 points. Then 103 points back. Minus 103. With 103 points so far is Art Grand Prix. That's about 22 points separating from the top. And then High-Tech Grand Prix with 85 points and Doms with 60 so far. They'll be back for Silverstone week 5 of 10.
Yeah.
And is this a worrisome sign for Robert Schwartzman?
I feel like he has to start having more pace. Like he had no pace in qualifying, and the both races no pace. If he could have pace faster a little bit, I feel like if he's back in the points, he has to just finish in the points and run consistent. Don't run out of the points in every race and lose points. He just has to be more consistent and get some speed at some of these tracks.
That makes sense. But there are other drivers out there. Callum Ilott seems very consistent when it comes to getting the double points weekends.
Yeah.
Louis Delatraz had a shaky start. and he seems to be back in this. So we'll have to see where this goes in the long run. So with that said, let's just move it on to some sports car talk, beginning with VLN at Nürburgring for VLN 4. That was won by BMW, the Row Racing number 99 M6 GT3. Took the win over another BMW, so 1-2 finish for them. And then on Sunday was the main event, really, for all sports cars of the weekend. It was the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship at Road America for round 4 of not 17, round 4 of 11. I don't know
I was about to say 17.
All right, so let's get started with the overall class. DPIs won by Ricky Taylor and Elio Castroneves for Acura Team Penske. It's the first time in 13 years that this Penske sports car group won at this track, dating back to 2007 at the American Le Mans Series, when JJ Leto and Romain Dumas took the win in a Porsche Spider. In second was the number 10 Wayne Taylor Racing Cadillac Ranger Vanners and Ryan Briscoe. Third place was a good late race charge after going off before the red flag due to rain. Or not to rain, but due to heavy rain. Philippe Nazar, People Durrani, Real Engineering Racing Cadillac number 31. Fourth place was the number 5 JDC Cadillac. And fifth place was the number 55 Mazda. LMP2 class winners was the number 81 Dragon Speed Oreca drivers Ben Hanley and Hendrik Hedman. They finished 8th overall. In second was the number 38 Performance Tech Motorsports Oreca over the number 18 Era Motorsport. And fourth and last in the class
52
was the 52 PR1 Matheson Motorsport, which led for most of the race before having some interesting moments under their safety car, including picking up a sign.
Yep. Advertising sponsors, I guess.
Happened a few times before that, too. Now, let's move on to the GT categories, starting with GTLM class. The number 3 Corvette won over the number 4 Corvette. It looked like they weren't going to win, but a late race incident took out the BMW and Porsches and opened the gates for Corvette to win once again. And they have been strong since the resumption of racing because of the pandemic that put a halt. And the new C8R has proven speed of that GTE plant. Once again, just read it. It's right there if you have eyes. We do not have good connection right now. NRF is unable to join because of poor connection. He came on 3 times and fell through each and every one of them.
Yeah,
we definitely have a lot to make up for this because he's one of our most anticipated guests. This is our second episode. We wanted to do something special.
And also,
we can't get him on.
Yeah, and we also want more guests because sometimes we just want some guests, and because we just want some guests to talk to because people. Yeah, it's like people really want to see guests on the podcast and all that, which we had before. We had guests before.
It was pretty much a while ago. We had Luis Torres join for the Motorsport Tribute.
Yeah,
we'll definitely bring him back one of these days. But yeah, just another dose of reality that 2020 has to offer. The one time we bring a guest back is the one time the internet has some sort of issue. But go ahead, subscribe to him. We have his link in the live chat. To keep the connection smooth, I turned my camera off because, why not?
Yeah.
Let's not add fuel to the fire here. We were talking about GTLM. The number 4 Corvette, not a Porsche.
I was about to say a Porsche.
It's again the number 24 BMW finished in third. The number 911 Porsche finished fourth. The 912 Porsche fifth, and then the 25 BMW finished in sixth in that category. And in the GT class, which consists of GT3 FI homologated GT3 specs, looked like this. Townsend Bell, Frankie Montecalvo, two different drivers with two different backgrounds in the same car. The number 12 Ambassador Sullivan Lexus wins. So Lexus is undefeated in GTD since the return of IMSA Racing. Finishing in second, the number 86 Heinecker Racing with Meyershank Racing Acura NSX GT3. Third place was the number 14 Ambassador Sullivan Lexus, which they've led. It was a close fight for the win, which we've seen, these GT3 cars and how the BOP is measured. It's very easy to be close together for a long time. Fourth place, the number 63 Scuderia Corsa Ferrari, and fifth place was the number 16 Wright Motorsport Porsche. So with that said, they will be back on the 23rd of August for round 5 of 11, just the GT classes, as many teams will be set to go to Spa. They'll be heading on a plane, and next weekend they'll be at Spa. But for IMSA, their next race will be at VIR, round 5 of 11, GT classes only, GTLM and GTD exclusively, on the 23rd of August. But like I said, you'll see a lot of these teams in Belgium this weekend and next weekend, the ELMS race, but we'll get into that later. And then, of course, 2 weeks' time for the return race for the FIA World Endurance Championship at Spa. A great convenience when it comes to scheduling, because if there's anything convenience, it ain't happening in 2020. I know I've said that a lot, but it's just what it is. You just have to accept things for what they are. Let's move on to some of the other races that we had on the weekend. Let's start with ARCA. We had 2 races, or should I say 1.5 races at Toledo. Rounds 9 and 10 of race 1, Sam Mayer over Ty Gibbs. Sam Mayer led 97 laps to win. Ty Gibbs finished second. Taylor Gray third. Brett Holmes fourth. A great points day for Brett Holmes. Michael Self fifth. And Chandler Smith, who retired finishing 11th, led 103 laps. Race 2 was just another one of those tastes of reality, you say, about what this year just has to offer. And that, of course, is rain. The day, 5 laps, rain, pushed to tomorrow, ended early. Most of the race finished under caution. Nonetheless, Sam Mayer still won the event. He led 13 laps over Chandler Smith, who led 7 laps. Brett Holmes third, Michael Self fourth. Derek Griffith, very good run for Derek Griffith in fifth. And Ty Gibbs, who led 107 laps, had an untimely caution, which put him into the 10th position. Now the points look like...
Also, people were mad yesterday because it was not on MAV TV or on NBC Sports Track Pass. So the only thing you saw was live timing. People were butthurt about it.
Yeah. Michael Self has 453 points so far over Brett Holmes, who has 446. Drew Dollar is there with 413 points. Haley Deegan fourth with 409 points. And Chad Moffitt is fifth with 381 points. They'll be back this weekend at the Michigan International Speedway for the Michigan 200, round 11 of 17.
Yep.
Now let's move on to the Whelen Modified Tour, which was White Mountain 200 Part Dos. Yep. Doug Kobe led 66 laps. Yep. Kyle Bonsignor finished second. Swanson in third. John McKennedy fourth. And Justin Bonsignor finished in fifth.
Yeah, John McKennedy led the most laps with 133 laps finished. in fourth from the pole, and fifth. And the only other guy, Chris Pasternak, led one lap.
Right. So the standings look like this. Justin Bonsignor is in the points lead, 134 points. 9 points behind in second with 125 points, Doug Copey. John McKennedy is third with 118 points so far. Craig Lutz and Kyle Bonsignor tied for fourth and fifth. 111 points each. They'll be back on the 22nd of August at Jennerstown for round 4 of 10. Obviously, the schedule fluctuates, so we don't know how many races will be total this year. Yeah. Nobody will know for any kind of series at this point.
Yeah.
All right, with that said, let's move on to the upcoming events, and then we'll get into the discussion of all silly season. Let's start off with the NASCAR Cup Series, Michigan 500K for rounds 21 and 22 of 36. The NASCAR Truck Series have the Michigan 200 for race 11 of 19. The NASCAR Xfinity Series, Road America 180, round 18 of 31. F1 will have the 70th anniversary Grand Prix at Silverstone, race 5 of 13. And F2 will be there for Silverstone Part 2 for week 5 of what is currently a 10-week schedule.
Yep.
Formula E is back. Now, we're going to get into some Formula E here a little bit later. For the Berlin E Prix Part 1 and 2. So round 6, 7, 8, and 9 of 11. It's now 11 races in the season, but Part 1 will be rounds 6 and 7. Part 2 will be rounds 8 and 9.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that a little bit later at the Berlin Airport Circuit and show you guys what that's all about. As for sports cars, the highlight event of the weekend will be the European Le Mans Series. 4 hours of Spa-Francorchamps, round 2 of 5. Pretty much a good predecessor to the anticipation of the WEC returning. With that said, let's go ahead and preview the Cup Series race at Michigan. So, obviously, I mentioned rounds 21 and 22. Last year's winners were Joey Logano and Kevin Harvick. 1969 was the year the first race happened at this track, won by Cale Yarborough.
Huh.
Yeah, once again, we do apologize. I know he just tweeted, Nathan just tweeted. If there's a list of podcasting disappointment, I guess I'm on top of the list. Back to creating videos. See you later later this week. Yeah, let's just take it for what it is. We'll invite him next week, and hopefully from there his connection will step up to the plate and operate like the rest of us. So yeah, once again, David Pearson has the most wins at this track, 9 victories, which no driver has even come close to reaching half of that mark when it comes to current drivers. Cale Yarborough is one notch below with 8 victories. Bill Elliott, another notch below with 7.
Jeez.
Mark Martin and Rusty Wallace have 5 wins each at this track. Richard Petty, Dale Jarrett, Bobby Allison, and Greg Biffle have 4 wins here. Davey Allison, Kurt Busch, Jeff Gordon, Kevin Harvick, Matt Kenseth, Kyle Larson, Bobby Labonte, and Joey Logano all have 3 wins at Michigan. Well, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Carl Edwards, Denny Hamlin, Darrell Waltrip, and Ryan Newman have 2 wins at this racetrack. So basically, it really shows that there's a lot of diversity when it comes to the modern drivers at this track. No one driver can really pull a weight when it comes to holding a record here. But let's look at the team wins for the August race. Roush Fenway Racing, leads that list with 7 wins over the Wood Brothers Racing with 5. Penske Racing and Joe Gibbs Racing with 4 wins apiece. Petty Enterprises, Melling Racing, Chip Ganassi Racing share 3 wins apiece for the August race at Michigan. Holman Moody, Zygarde Motorsports, Junior Johnson Associates, Renier Lundy, Robert Yates Racing, Stuart Haas Racing, and Hendrick Motorsports all have 2 wins. With that said, let's go to manufacturers. Which manufacturers in the Motor City have the most success in the August race? Ford with 20.
Yep, Ford,
Chevy
obviously.
with 11. Dodge with 6. Mercury with 5. Toyota with 3. Buick and Pontiac share 2 wins, and Oldsmobile with 1. So, yeah,
Buick?
Buick has 2 wins there with Pontiac.
2 wins.
Right.
Who got
Very interesting.
I never expected Buick with 2 wins at Michigan.
Not bad. Moving on.
All right. So with that said, let's get into modern times here. Which driver will win this upcoming? Well, it's actually no. Race 1 and race 2. Let's put this into 2 categories. Who will win race 1? Let's talk about race 1 on Saturday, 500 kilometers. These drivers are coming in with New Hampshire on the back of their minds, ready to either move on or continue their success. Who's going to hold that trophy after race 1?
Ooh.
I've got Keselowski for race 1 and Logano for race 2. It will be a Team Penske sweep next week.
So is he Joey Logano in the comment section there? Yeah, Joey Logano is a good pick. You go back to last year in June. Logano took the win. He also won in 2013 and in 2016. So it seems like 2013, 2016, 2019. Then we have 3 wins. So doesn't that mean Logano's next win in Michigan is going to be in 3 years? I'm just kidding. I always like to play with numbers, but
Okay. My driver for race number 1. This driver, he has a couple wins. He has a couple wins at Michigan with 1, 2. He has 3 wins at Michigan. And this driver, he is driving a Chevrolet this season. This driver, he drives the number 1 Chip Ganassi Racing Chevy. Kurt Busch is going to win at Michigan on Saturday.
Kurt Busch. Well, that's going to shake up the playoffs a little bit.
Yeah, he has speed. I've seen his speed at Michigan. And
how about the Michigan name himself? Brad Keselowski.
Oh. Yeah, Brad Keselowski. That would be really good for Keselowski if he would win at his home track. Oh, yeah, race 2. Now I'm trying to figure out who's my pick for race 2.
Would you say it's a Penske driver?
My pick for race 2 is...
Brian Blaney?
Nope, it's not a Penske driver. Okay, my pick for race number 2. This driver, he's never won at Michigan, but he's so consistent recently. Like, recently, this driver has been so consistent that he's one of the first drivers with Like this driver this season has 5 top 5s and 12 top 10s. This driver drives the number 10 for Stewart Haas Racing.
Almirola.
Eric Almirola wins at Michigan on Sunday because he's just so consistent right now. He's been so good recently, and he's so consistent that I feel like he could get the win and lock himself in the playoffs.
Yeah, hey guys, just an update. Unfortunately, NRF fought the battle, but his Wi-Fi won the war, and he won't be able to join us. But we're going to try to get it back next week and in the future. You know, things happen.
Yep. Yep. Technology's made by humans. Humans do make mistakes.
But, you know, whether it's the spies from underground or whoever's in control of this damn Wi-Fi, you suck. Okay, let's just move on. I mean, listen, my connection's not the best either, so, I mean, the stream, honestly, it just hasn't been the best. That's why my camera's off, and same with Justin. And I left that in the chat in case if we stutter.
Yeah. Because sometimes some internets are bad, like once during the Chili Bowl Nationals in 2019, I was talking and Joseph's internet was so bad that it sounded like you said like Joseph, you said stumble like 5 times because your internet lagged down at the same time.
I sounded like a robot. It was
yeah, weird.
It was robotic. Okay,
Yeah.
where am I going with this? So, we were talking about race 1. Danny, did you make a pick for race 1 in Michigan?
I think he did. I think he said
All right,
Keselowski for race 1.
I said Keselowski. I think he may have said Keselowski too. All right, race 2. Who's going with race 2?
For me, race 2 is Eric Almirola.
I pick Logano.
Okay.
This should be fun. Race 2.
Oh, what's your
race
pick?
2? So if Brad Keselowski wins race 1, then this driver is going to shake up the playoffs to win race 2.
Oh my!
William Byron.
Whoa! My.
I told you guys before the season started that William Byron will be one of the drivers getting their first win in 2020, along with Tyler Reddick and Matt DiBenedetto.
Wow.
None of them so far have won.
No,
Cole Custer is the driver with the first win to his name in 2020. Yep. With that said, race 2, I have William Byron. Who do you guys have? Let's make this quick.
I have Kurt. Nope. I meant Eric Almirola for race 2 in that number 10 car.
Logano.
Eric Almirola. Okay. All right, that sounds doable. He's one of those drivers that is just,
I have Logano.
To win race 2. Logano. So Logano's going to come out of this with 6 wins at Michigan. 5 wins at Michigan. Because he has 3 already and then wins 4 or 5. This is be like a Scott McLaughlin sweep or something. All right. Truck Series will be at Michigan for race 11 of 19. Last year, Austin Hill won the race. Greg Biffle won the first event back in 1999. He and Travis Kvapil and Brett Moffitt have the most wins here with 2 victories apiece. For teams, Roush Fenway Racing, 5 wins, more than any other team in the Truck Series. Turner Scott Motorsport with 2 wins, and Hattori Racing Enterprises with 2 wins as well. For makes, Toyota with 8 wins, including their very first back in 2004 with Travis Kvapil, mind you. Chevy and Ford share 5 wins apiece, and Dodge has 2 wins. So the stats there, 40 trucks will be taking the green flag at Michigan. Who is going to win that race?
I gotta go see my stats work quickly. I'm just gonna go check my stats. I have to do my research because it's quite important.
Bud.
Yeah, it's gonna be quick. It's not gonna be.
I've got Brett Moffitt to win.
Brett Moffitt just scored his first win in the series at this track. What if I told you that weekend in 2016, that very same weekend, that calendar year of 2016, there were 3 different first-time winners at the same time. We had Brett Moffitt in the truck race at Michigan. Then in Road America, Michael McDowell won the Xfinity race, and Kyle Larson won the Cup race the day later, which I don't think has ever happened in NASCAR weekend before, where they all got their first, where like 3 different drivers got their first wins in the same weekend. I mean, actually, it almost happened in Kentucky. Think about it, Sheldon Creed getting
Okay.
winning. Go on,
Okay.
Justin.
My pick. This driver, he's ran only once at Michigan in the trucks, but he has an average finish of 4th place. This driver drives the number 40 for Nice Motorsports. Ryan Truex is going to win at Michigan.
I've got Allgaier winning at Michigan.
Allgaier.
Oh, no, you know what? I'll take that back. Brandon Jones gets...
When Xfinity's not at Michigan.
Oh, don't tell NRF that.
We're talking about the truck series right now.
Trucks are at Michigan.
Yeah, Xfinity's at Road America. We're talking about the truck
We're not in
series.
Xfinity yet.
Yeah, we're still talking about the truck.
What do you have?
I'm gonna have to go with Allgaier.
We're talking about the truck.
We're talking about the truck series. I would say an expletive, but I can't.
Dude.
We're talking about the trucks right now.
Okay. Brett Moffitt.
Okay, and I picked.
Sheesh, man.
Well, we just need to one answer from the trucks.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pick.
Oh, jeez.
Ty Majeski.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay. Really interesting pick. Oh, now I gotta do my research for Road America now. Time to do that research quickly.
Here, I got the research stats right here. So this is the 10-year anniversary of the first race back in 2010. By the way, this is round 18. Last year, Christopher Bell won the race. Carl Edwards won the first event back in 2010, driving for Jack Roush. On the wins list, there are no multiple winners, so I'll just list them year by year. Carl Edwards, 2010 for Jack Roush. 2011, one of the most controversial races in Xfinity Series history. Reed Stewardson scored what is currently his last win in the series. Nelson Piquet Jr. scored his first and only win of the NASCAR Xfinity Series of his career back in 2012. Both 2011 and 2012 were won by Turner Scott Motorsports. 2013 was AJ Allmendinger's first career win. So was 2014 with Brendan Gaughan for Richard Childress Racing. 2015, Paul Menard won at his home track in Wisconsin. Michael McDowell's first career win. Richard Childress Racing scored 2 wins in that deal. Then 2017, Jeremy Clements pulled one of the biggest upsets in recent history for the Xfinity Series. 2018, Justin Allgaier made redemption after what happened in 2011, and 2019 was Christopher Bell showing that he can do it not just on dirt tracks, but also on the road courses. As for team victories, RCR has 3 wins more than any other team, and of course the defunct Turner Scott Motorsports with 2 wins on that list. Most make win Chevy with 7, 2 for Ford and 1 for Toyota. I know there's an entry list somewhere with the amount of road ringers that are on.
There's 3 road runners, Joseph.
Oh, just send me the doc.
Come on, J-Ski, don't take 80 years to load up. Oh, come on. Okay, come on. You could load up, JC. You don't have to take 80 years. Okay. Copy. There, I just sent the entry list, Joseph.
Gracias. All right. So I'm just going to have a look because the Xfinity entry list likes to fluctuate week by week. Got 37 cars overall here. Mike Wallace, nice. Andy Lally,
Yep.
one of the best sports car drivers.
Jade Buford, R.C. Enerson, they're also
Open wheel drivers. I like that.
yeah.
Buford, SCCA driver. Daniel Hemrick. Now, okay. So how many first-time winners have this event brought in the NASCAR Xfinity Series? Probably more than any other current event in what we have.
Jeremy Clements.
Nelson Piquet Jr., AJ Allmendinger, Brendan Gaughan, Michael McDowell, Jeremy Clements. That's 5 of the last 10 years, or 5 of the last 10 winners in the race's history were first-time winners. So we're going to add another name to that list in Daniel Hemrick.
Wow.
Long for that first career win.
Okay. Just looking through these stats quickly. Okay, my pick, this driver, he's ran 1 race at this track, but he has 1 top 10, 1 top 20, and a lap led. His average finish, no, decide to switch my pick. This driver, he has a win at this racetrack 7 years ago. My pick, the number 16, AJ Allmendinger is going to win at Road America.
So you're going to go with AJ Allmendinger. I'm going to go with Daniel Hemrick. Hemrick will be the 6th different first-time winner at this track. He's long overdue, but AJ Allmendinger is a guy that is tough to beat. He might as well just be the first multi-time winner at Road America. With that said, let's move on to Formula One, the inaugural second race of Silverstone, which will be called the 70th Anniversary Grand Prix, round 5 of 13, the inaugural event, obviously. So, who will win that F1 race? Let's just get into it. Obviously, Lewis Hamilton.
I think this is going to be so hard to pick. Oh, my. Lewis Hamilton is going to win again. He's just so good.
Allow it. Lewis Hamilton will win. I agree with that. Okay, let's move on. Who's going to get a podium finish?
A podium finish. Oof.
I got my answer.
Who?
He's probably my favorite newest driver in F1 over the last 3 years. That's not named Charles Leclerc.
Okay.
The live chat says something different. Lando Norris.
Okay.
One of the most likable and relatable people on the F1 grid. You can like Lando Norris is the guy that you literally emulate. Like you can emulate Lando Norris. But Charles Leclerc would be a good pick too.
My pick for a podium. Okay, this driver, he has only, I think, 1 podium in his career, in his F1 career, which came in a controversial finish at Brazil last year. This driver,
Oh,
drives current number 55, Carlos Sainz Jr. will get a podium at Silverstone. And his tire is going to last compared to last race at Silverstone, where his tire didn't last. Oh, yeah. So I picked, so yeah, I'm picking Carlos Sainz to get a podium in his McLaren.
all right. So, with that said, let's move on to Formula E. So let's just categorize what this is going to look like. So Formula E will have 3 parts to the Berlin P3 rounds. 6, 7, 8, and 9 will be this week. So Berlin EP Part 1 will be rounds 6 and 7. Berlin EP round Part 2 will be rounds 8 and 9. And Berlin EP Part 3 will be next week, round 10 and 11.
I'm just checking here. By the way, for the Formula E race, for the first race, the first race is Wednesday, 8 a.m. Eastern is the qualifying, and the E-Prix is at 1 p.m. Eastern on FS2 in the United States. So yeah. So qualifying's in the morning, afternoon is the race.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, here are the stats and just some fun facts for you guys. And I know that the views are dwindling down, but that's okay. They were here for NRF just like we were. They'll be back next week. It's just life. Just got to handle it the way it is.
Yeah, and it's also I know people want a million views, and like I can't even reach that myself. I've been on YouTube for 5 years, and the most views I've got was 670. Yeah, like
Okay, let me just get into the stats here. So the most wins for this event, Sebastian Buemi. The first race was 2015. Jerome D'Ambrosio won in the inaugural season. He has a 1 win. Felix Rosenqvist, Danny Abt, Lucas Di Grassi also have a win as well.
Right.
Most team wins, Abt, Schaffer, Audi Sport, 2 wins, and Renault E. Doms with 2 wins as well for constructors.
You said about Daniel Abt. He's not even racing anymore.
No, because he did a on iRace or R Factor.
Yeah, I got professional sim racers to race as his name, and don't do that.
He does he and his family do business with Audi, so take it as you will.
Yeah.
Who's going to win?
Oh.
Let's just one. Who's going to win or have the best overall finish in part 1? Because we're going to be here forever.
Okay, part 1. I feel like the best overall finish for part 1. I feel like Maximilian Gunther driving for the Andretti team.
I'm going to go with Lucas Di Grassi.
Okay.
How about part 2? Who's going to have the best overall average finish?
Okay, part 2. I feel for the part 2, the best average finish will be Mitch Evans.
I was about to say the same thing. Mitch Evans as well. All right. Let's talk about another upcoming race weekend before we head into we got 2 more to cover just for some predictions. Supercars will be back this weekend for week 5 of 12, rounds 13, 14, and 15 of the 28 race tour for the Darwin Triple Crown. Last year, Scott McLaughlin won the Darwin Triple Crown for DJR Team Penske. The first race of the Darwin Triple Crown was back in 1998, won by Russell Ingall. Driver with the most wins at the Darwin Triple Crown, Craig Lowndes, 4 wins over Jamie Whincup with 3, as well as Scott McLaughlin. They have 3 wins as well. Mark Scaife, Marcus Ambrose, and Todd Kelly share 2 wins apiece. With that said, most team wins. Triple Eight Race Engineering with 7 wins over Holden Racing Team with 4. Stone Brothers Racing and DJR Team Penske with 3 wins apiece. And Pro Drive Racing Team Australia, formerly known as Ford Performance Racing, have 2 wins. For most make wins, it's close, but Holden falls short to this one. Yeah, Ford has 11 wins over Holden with 10. Will that change this weekend? Who knows? Who will have the best overall average finish of the 3 races in the Darwin Triple Crown?
I feel Scott McLaughlin's going to have the better average finish through the races because he's not finishing last and retiring out of the race. He knows how to put the car where it's supposed to be. He doesn't go wreck people and be slow.
He's a clean driver. You're not wrong with that. All right, but I'm going to be a little bold here. This driver is unthinkable. He's defying the odds. Nick Percat will continue his success. This is the first time Nick Percat has won multiple races in a season, and that will continue on in the 2028 Supercar Championship. Because if you look at it, it's awfully close, and I think it's going to be something surprising. With that said, let's move on to the ELMS.
Oh, yeah, they're racing. I just forgot about them.
Yes. Yeah, that's the last race we have to predict. We would have gotten to IndyCar, but we'll get into why that's not the case.
Yeah.
They scrapped Mid-Ohio. And Mid-Ohio is not on the schedule.
Well, it's postponed to later.
Right. So, yeah. Sports cars, like I said earlier after talking about IMSA, they will be in Spa for a while.
Yep.
The European Le Mans Series will have the 4 hours of Spa this weekend, and then next weekend, the 2019-2020 FIA World Endurance Championship will have their first race since Lone Star Le Mans, which is 6 hours of Circuit of the Americas on 23 February this year, for the 6 hours of Spa. So the 4 hours of Spa, let's get into some stats. Very interesting stats here. So the first race was ran back in 1953, won by a single driver, Olivier Guinebian, a Belgian native himself, driving a classic Ferrari 166 mm. It was a non-championship event back in 1953. As for the driver that has most wins, Jackie Ickx with 5. This track was the site of one of the greatest tragedies in sports car racing history when Stefan Beloff, who actually won the race a year prior in 1984, in the 1985 running, lost his life battling for the lead with Jackie Ickx. And as for teams with the most victories, Team Peugeot Total, obviously they're not there anymore. Last year, race was won by Toyota Gazoo Racing. We're talking about the race history, not the sanctioning body. Yes, we know that they're racing not this weekend. Most constructor wins: Ferrari with 10, Porsche with 9, Audi has 6 wins, Peugeot with 5, Toyota 4, and Jaguar with 3, and then Aston Martin, Mirage, Sauber, Courage with 2 wins, respectively. These constructors have a single win. Lister, Ford, Matra, Alfa Romeo, Lancia, Mercedes-Benz, Lucchini, and Reynard. So I'm going to go ahead and find that entry list as the 2020 4 Hours of Spa is set to get underway. 40 cars were originally going to be on the entry list for the season, but then, of course, things changed.
Yep, with the pandemic and travel restrictions and all that. Yeah, there's people don't know there's travel restrictions because you don't want to travel somewheres and
The government is just they're like, oh no, you can't do this, you can't do that.
yeah, you have to
things happen in a certain way, and we just have to live life as it is.
yeah, you can't and you gotta respect everything. You can't be doing
As
things
much as we want to be stubborn, bro, it's what we have.
yeah. Yeah, and people just have to stop.
All right, I'm trying to find the entry list here.
Come on, what the? I don't want to buy tickets. Jeez.
And so there we go. Okay, yeah, I found the entry list. I wish it was a PDF, but it is. I'm gonna send that in the private chat, and you can have a look and make your predictions.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't want a random things for tickets. I'm not trying to go.
I know it's in French, but I can't find the English one for some reason.
Well, I understand French at least. I understand French. Yep,
that is true. Whoops. So yeah, LMP2, LMP3, LMGT. Your LMP2 pick. What do you got?
Is this the entry? Oh, found the entry list.
Yeah, of course it's not on PDF, so it has to make things slow.
Oh no, it isn't a PDF. I found it. I'll send it to you. This is the PDF version of the entry list, Joseph. I just sent it. This is the PDF version. I found it.
Just read it off. Who do you have?
Okay, for the LMP2 class, I have the number 21 Dragon Speed, driven by Memo, Rojas, Ben Hanley, and Ryan Colin.
I'm with you on that. They're going to go back to back. They want to run America. They'll win it again at Spa.
Okay, LMP3. Oh, I'm looking here. I feel like the number 9 Graph, driven by Vincent Capelaire, Arnold Robin, and Maxim Robin, are going to win in LMP3.
I'm going to go ahead and pick the number 3 United Auto Sports with that. And lastly, the LMGTE class. These are independent GTE teams that you see in the GTM class. The WEC. They'll be, of course, a lot of them will be racing 2 times at Spa. They'll have to preserve a car, but I'm going to go with this pick, Spirit of Race Ferrari number 55. They've been strong.
Okay. My pick is the number 98 Aston Martin Racing car, driven by Paul Dall'Anna, Matthias Lauda, and Augusto Farfus.
All right. With that said, let's just go ahead and make a note, because we are nearing the end of the podcast. We could talk some silly season.
Well, also, just before, there's also miscellaneous events like Arca West is racing at Evergreen, just to say.
Luis Torres, one of my previous guests who was on twice during a Kyle Larson episode, which was
yeah.
We didn't expect that to happen, of course, heading into the podcast, but he was there nonetheless with Marty Cicala. Luis was on with us. He'll be at the track covering the race, taking pictures.
Yep.
He's a very good photographer, so look out for that. And, of course, the Motorsports Tribune. We have ARCA at Michigan, so, yeah, let's go with your ARCA West pick at Evergreen. I'm just going to make this real quick. Jesse Love will win that race.
I feel like Gio Scalzi in the number 16.
We might just see some Bill McAnally's just swiping off the top 5 here. How about
Yep.
Arca at Michigan?
For Arca, who?
I'm a big fan. I can't stop being a fan for this guy. Michael Self is going to win the race.
I feel my pick is the number 20 of Ryan Repko.
Ryan Repko it is. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Let's I think we have that all set and covered, but let's just talk some NASCAR. Of course, we learned that Brad Keselowski get contract extension for Team Penske. What does this mean for some of the other free agents?
Ooh, this
we're
means
running low on time, so let's just get this quick.
I feel like it's not the best for some free agents that are still looking for a ride because Brad Keselowski, he was rumored to be in the 48 for a while, but he's been so good at Penske, and he won recently, and also I was thinking in my head, I feel like Brad's going to get a contract extension and all that because he's so good right now, and people still saying about Austin Cindric, but because Keselowski is in the 2, that's literally thrown out of the window.
Here's the thing: they can always open a 4th car. The rumors have Austin Cindric, but he has sports cars as an out ticket if he needs to. But obviously, we've heard recently from last year, especially the offseason after Supercars, Scott McLaughlin has great interest in racing in North America, whether that's IndyCar, which he was supposed to do with the Indy Grand Prix. That was called off because of the pandemic. And then, of course, stock cars showing interest in racing NASCAR, whether that's part-time or full-time. I have a feeling we may see a 4th car with 2 drivers splitting it next year.
We'll just see.
Both drivers have options other than just exclusively Cup Series racing.
Yeah, like Austin Cindric, he has sports cars. Scott McLaughlin has supercars. Like, they have other options, and some drivers don't have other options.
But let's get into Hendrick Motorsports. If the 48 car stays intact,
oh my!
Helio Castroneves gearing IndyCar full time in 2021. That could be. I wonder what Penske has to do. I mean, they're stacked.
But did you hear? Helio said it's not Penske. That's interesting.
It's been a long time since he drove any kind of car outside of the Team Penske name. Of course, he replaced the late Greg Moore in 2000.
Yeah,
that was supposed to be Moore's ride. Where are we going with this? Back to NASCAR here. Hendrick's 48 car. Rumors they could be in jeopardy of staying as a full-time team. Could they go down to part-time? Or, listen. Blake Shelton wants Jimmy Johnson to stay another year.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I don't know, and that Hendrick Motorsports lineup is basically Chase Elliott is still in the 9, the 24 William Byron, and the 88 Alex Bowman because Bowman got a contract extension for 2021. Elliott has a contract through 2022. Byron also has a contract through 2022. So it's the 48's unknown yet. That 48 car is still unknown for drivers.
How about Eric Jones? Let's make this quick because I know we're running out of time here.
Eric Jones.
He's in jeopardy. There's a driver really good in that. Christopher Bell. What's the timetable for this 24-year-old? Because it's hard to believe he's 24 years old, Eric Jones.
Yeah, the thing about Eric Jones is he has talent, which people say he doesn't. Because Eric Jones has only been in the Cup Series since 2017 full time.
Yes.
People are saying that he should have more wins like Kyle Busch, Mark Truex Jr., and Denny Hamlin, but they've been in the Cup Series since the 2000s. Denny Hamlin and Martin Truex Jr. 2006, Kyle Busch 2005, and now the people are saying Eric Jones should have the same potential as them. But the thing is,
It doesn't work like that. Everyone has their own pace.
Like, the thing is, Kyle Busch has been in the Cup Series for 15 years. Denny Hamlin and Martin Truex Jr. have been in the Cup Series for 14 years. Eric Jones has only been in the Cup Series since 2017 full time. That's the problem.
I think there's a lot of room left. You know, he honestly just had an off year with a lot of drivers been affected by this messed up schedule. He's just one of them.
Yeah.
He can bring that 48 team and have a long-term deal together, which I would gladly approve that if I was a critic. I mean, I am a critic.
If I was Rick Hendrick, seeing about possible driver, people are saying no, Gragson, but Gragson only has 2 wins. Like, the thing about Noah Gragson, I feel he's not Cup Series material yet. Like, the thing about Gragson, he gets into incidents.
And I don't know, it's not like a William Byron kind of season and Xfinity that we saw back in 2017.
No, it's like just there, but not there.
He's not steady enough. We're not seeing anything like Cole Custer or Christopher Bell. Tyler Reddick from last year.
No, he's just that person in.
But that doesn't make him any less of a driver.
But
he still has.
I feel like he's not ready compared to other drivers like Chase Briscoe. He's more ready for Cup.
Oh, Briscoe's ready. The door is knocking on him. The rumors say if it's Kyle Larson or Chase Briscoe going in the 14 next year, Clint Bowyer chooses not to renew his contract. Something very likely might happen. I guess this is a good stopping point for the podcast. And once again, we apologize for the poor connection. Yeah. Things just happen. Hope you're enjoying hockey so far. I was really getting into. I was really hoping to, make fun of the Blues losing in 0.1 seconds in overtime. Before overtime was an afterthought. Jordan Binnington was like, "Oh no, the clock's gonna hit 0." Nope, backhand goal.
And also that tune into the races, and BJ McLeod's not gonna win, so nobody pick him to win because that's not gonna work.
Okay, playtime's over. In all honesty, Justin, and you guys, we really wanted NRF to join.
Yep.
It's a big shame that the internet has to win a war that we didn't want to pick a battle with. But we'll try to get him next time. For my buddies, Daniel Ford, my partners, Daniel Ford, Justin Everett. My head's spinning. I'm Joe Landy Pavlon, ready to call this a night. Peace.